Apophis was a terrifying being whose very existence threatened not only the gods but the order of the universe itself. In Egyptian iconography, he was often depicted as a massive serpent with razor-sharp scales, sometimes with knives embedded in them, representing failed attempts to destroy him. He was the greatest enemy of the sun god Ra, the most important deity in the Egyptian pantheon. Each day, as Ra sailed across the sky in his solar bark, and each night as he traveled through the underworld, Apophis lurked in the dark depths of the primordial ocean noon, attempting to swallow the vessel and plunge the world into eternal night. Every sunrise marked Ra's victory over the beast, a triumph of light over darkness. The Egyptians believed that natural phenomena such as solar eclipses were moments when Apophis briefly prevailed. To counter his power, priests performed protective rituals, creating wax effigies of Apophis and destroying them in symbolic acts of defeating evil. Though Apophis was immortal and could never be fully destroyed, his endless battle with Ra embodied the eternal cycle of day and night, life and death, and order and chaos. Ammit, also known as the Devourer of Souls, was a demoness who awaited those deemed unworthy of eternal life. Her body combined the traits of the most dangerous animals of the Nile: the head of a crocodile, the torso of a lion, and the hind legs and tail of a hippopotamus. In the Egyptian concept of the afterlife, Ammit played a crucial role in the weighing of the heart ceremony. She appeared in the Hall of Two Truths, standing beside the god Anubis, and waited for the ritual to end. In this ceremony, the deceased's heart, symbolizing their conscience, was placed on one side of a scale, with the feather of the goddess of truth, Ma'at, on the other. If the heart was lighter than the feather, the soul passed into paradise. But if it was heavier, burdened with sin, the beast was given permission to devour it. To be eaten by Ammit meant the total annihilation of the soul and the end of any hope for eternal life. She embodied the worst fate imaginable after death. Interestingly, she was not considered evil, but rather a necessary force in maintaining cosmic order. The Sphinx is a majestic creature with the body of a lion and the head of a human. Unlike the Greek Sphinx, its Egyptian counterpart had no wings and did not pose riddles. In ancient Egyptian culture, it served as a guardian of sacred places, protecting temple and tomb entrances from intruders and evil spirits. The most famous example is the Great Sphinx of Giza, an immense statue carved from a single block of limestone. For thousands of years, it has watched over the Nile plain, a silent witness to history and the mysteries of the ancient world. It is about 73 meters long and 20 meters high, with a face thought to represent Pharaoh Khafre, though theories differ. According to Egyptian belief, the Sphinx was not only a guardian but also a guide for those pure in heart and mind. Rituals were performed before its sacred visage to protect the city and its people from disasters, enemies, and evil forces. Bennu, often associated with the sun god Ra, was the prototype for the Greek phoenix. Its symbolism was deeply rooted in rebirth, light, and the eternal cycle of life. Bennu resembled a majestic heron or ibis with a slender body and long beak, often depicted wearing a crown or a solar disk on its head. According to ancient belief, Bennu built its nest from fragrant myrrh branches, and after 500 years, it set the nest ablaze, rising anew from the ashes. Each flight over the Nile was said to bring renewal and harmony, symbolizing the life force and balance of the world. Legend tells that Bennu emerged from the primordial waters of Nun and settled on the Ben stone, the first piece of dry land in the newly created world. This moment symbolized the beginning of existence and the birth of time. Priests believed Bennu had the power to control time, and each of its rebirths served as a reminder of the eternal cycle of death and resurrection, a cornerstone of Egyptian faith in the afterlife. The Griffin is a mythical beast known in many ancient cultures, holding a special place in Egyptian mythology. It was believed to inhabit rocky deserts and remote areas, lying in wait for adventurers seeking treasures or ancient secrets. Travelers who claim to have seen it describe the griffin as having the body of a lion and the head and wings of an eagle or falcon. Images of griffins often adorned tomb walls, palace columns, and other architectural features, symbolizing protection over sacred places and treasures. In Egyptian legend, griffins also acted as guides, accompanying heroes on spiritual journeys. Their appearance was considered a sign of divine favor and protection, making the griffin a symbol not only of strength, but also of trust and loyalty. In ancient iconography, the Serpopard typically had the body and limbs of a leopard with an elongated snake-like neck. This hybrid creature appears in both Egyptian and Mesopotamian art. The most famous depiction of the Serpopard is found on the Narmer palette, a ceremonial relief dating to around 3100 BCE, where two Serpopards are shown with their long necks intertwined, possibly symbolizing the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt. An alternative interpretation sees the Serpopard as a representation of chaotic forces that a ruler must subdue. The Uraeus is a serpent entity closely linked to the power of the pharaohs in ancient Egypt. It takes the form of a golden cobra poised to strike, its hood flared and eyes blazing. According to some accounts, when the pharaoh was in danger, the Uraeus would come to life, unleashing streams of fire to destroy his enemies. The creature was also regarded as the embodiment of the goddess Wadjet, the protector of Lower Egypt. Often depicted as a woman with the head of a snake, Wadjet personified the vital energy that shielded the pharaoh and his realm from all threats. Depictions of the Uraeus on royal crowns served not only as decoration, but also as a powerful symbol of the ruler's unbreakable bond with the gods, reinforcing the pharaoh's role as the mediator between the divine and mortal worlds. Am-heh was a sinister creature from the depths of Egyptian mythology, a monster feared even by the gods. Known as the Eater of Millions, he embodied aggression, chaos, and an insatiable hunger. Egyptians believed he inhabited the dark recesses of the underworld Duat, lying in wait for those who lost their way in the afterlife. Ancient descriptions portray Am-heh as either a dog or a man with the head of a dog or jackal, symbolizing his closeness to the dark forces of death and decay. He resembled the god Anubis in appearance, but unlike Anubis, who guided the dead, Am-heh posed a direct threat to souls unprepared for the journey beyond. He was one of the few beings that even Osiris, the mighty ruler of the underworld, could not subdue. Acting entirely on his own instincts, the creature could only be restrained by Ra himself. Naddaha, also called She Who Calls, was a figure of mesmerizing, almost hypnotic beauty who roamed the banks of the Nile on warm, stifling nights. According to legend, she lured men with a melodic song or the mysterious whisper of their names. Those who succumbed to her enchantment followed her into the depths of the river, consumed by an irresistible longing they could not control. The fate of those who answered her call was almost always tragic. On the shore, all that remained were faint traces, sometimes footprints that vanished where the water met the land. In some versions of the legend, she appeared to those in deep sorrow, experiencing intense emotions or feeling lost. Like a predator sensing weakness, she used it to bait her victims. Naddaha shares traits with the water spirits of other cultures, such as Slavic rusalki or Western mermaids. It is said she is the spirit of a woman who met a tragic end by the Nile, doomed to wander its banks in search of revenge or peace. In the 20th century, she became a popular cautionary tale in Egyptian villages, warning young men to resist temptation and stay vigilant after dark.